Hello, welcome to Brain Injured and Bored. There's a lot to talk about this week. There's a fuck ton of stuff to talk about this week. And it is not breakup related. There have been other life shit happening that it's been insane. I don't even think I'll have time to go into like how I've been like emotionally feeling lately. Yeah, it's been insane. So let's just start, shall we? I don't remember exactly what day things started to go crazy. Was it Tuesday or was it like, I don't remember, but things have popped off and gotten crazy. So one thing that's kind of the thing is I messed up my neck. Well, I didn't mess up my neck. I was at physical therapy last week and we did some motions where I was like lifting up my shoulder blades and kind of doing some things with my upper body up here. And I think I just did something weird, and that messed up my neck. And so I had I have a lot of neck pain, or I had a lot of neck pain that was causing me to have like migraines. And so if I like moved my neck in a position that it didn't like, my head would immediately start to hurt. So I've spent the past week or so having absolutely perfect posture. And I've had to sleep in very interesting ways. And that's been interesting. It's getting better. It's definitely getting better. And I have physical therapy today, so we'll work on it a little bit more. But I've never had neck problems before. So so if I'm sitting up very tall, it's because my neck hurts. But okay, so that happened. And then what day should we start with? Let's start with Thursday. So Thursday, I had plans to go get a tattoo. I wanted thank you written on my wrist because of my thank you hands. Come to Jesus moment that we all know about. And I just, especially now during this like really rough time, I just really wanted that reminder. And so I made an appointment to go get the tattoo. Now, the place that I wanted to get tattooed at is very close to my house. I've been tattooed by them before. I thought this would be fine, a good place to go. So I drove myself to go get tattooed, which was very fun until it wasn't. And that was exciting. I mean, it was just 5 minutes down the road, but it was still cool. So I pull into the parking lot and I go to walk inside to get my tattoo, and I have my hat, I have my sunglasses, I got my water, I got all my necessities that I need. And obviously I don't have the tattoo, so something went wrong. And so I'm walking in and my glasses clip kind of slipped, my sunglasses clip kind of slipped a little bit because they just stick on top of these. And so I go to fix them, and as soon as I like lift them up to fix them, there's a gust of wind that comes and blows them away. And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally about to like walk into the door, and so I'm like, oh my God. And I heard them clink, and so I thought, oh, they're just on the ground. Look around, cannot find them. And there's like these bushes on the side, and I'm like, oh no, are they in the, and I kind of look around, I couldn't see it. My sunglass clip is also clear, like my glasses, and then it's like dark because they're sunglasses. So yeah, and so I'm kind of scrambled and I look for it and I can't find it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And so I go to walk in to be there for my appointment, and I text Dad, I'm like, can you Uber here? Because he didn't have a car. He's like, can you Uber from my house to this place to help me find the sunglasses? And he's like, sure, I'll be there in like 20 minutes. So I go, and there's these girls that are like wanting to get tattooed by the guy I was supposed to get tattooed by. He completely forgot I had an appointment. He completely forgot what I wanted, and I told him, I said, oh, I want thank you in this font. I had sent him an example of the font that I wanted. I want this exact font. And he said, okay, and then just pulled up an iPad and said, pick a font off of this website. And that was very, I was very confused, and I was like, well, what do I do? Because I wanted this exact font. And he said, pick one. And so I was like trying to find one, and like my brain is kind of scattered because I drove by myself here. So that hasn't happened a lot. I lost my sunglasses, and I'm just kind of frozen. I like dropped my water bottle on their like glass thing, and it like cracked a little bit, and I was like, oh no, it's just water. Like there's a lot of things that happen in a short amount of time. And so I kind of pick a font that is similar. Okay, so he goes to like trace it and draw it up so I can like look at it and see if I like it. First one, didn't like. And I'm like, so I pick another one, like let's try this one. And we do this 3 times, and as my brain is getting more and more confused, I'm feeling more and more like overwhelmed, and I feel like I'm just about to cry and like lose it. My brain has hit a wall, which makes sense given everything. And also like there's decisions that needed to be made that I was expecting to figure out like the size and the placement, but I didn't expect all these other decisions to be made. And so finally, he comes back and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just can't do this. My brain is not working, you know, whatever. But really, I just didn't like the fonts, and he wouldn't do the one. I was like, I don't like it. So I said, I'm sorry, I have a brain injury. My brain's overwhelmed. I'll come back. No need to pay you for your time. And he was like, no, it's fine. These girls want to get tattooed, whatever. And then he turns around to leave, and there's just a fucking gun in his waistband. I'm like, cool. Fantastic. Absolutely. So I leave, about to be in tears because my brain is so overwhelmed. But then as soon as I get out and get in the car, I'm okay. Which props to me, because I've never been able to get myself out of a situation where my brain gets like that. I've always had to have someone else kind of take me out. So I'm very proud that I was able to do that by myself. So I sit in the car, and I am waiting for Dad to show up to help me look for these sunglasses. And I know that these people in the tattoo place are gonna think that I'm just having a senior moment or something, because I just kind of had like a little freak out in the lobby, and then I'm looking at the ground, wandering around, looking for something that may or may not exist. So Dad comes, and we look around, and we have accepted the fact that we're not gonna find this. But then the bushes are very thorny, and so my dad's like sticking his hand, getting his hand all thorned up. He finds it. It's great. We go home. He drives me home because I couldn't drive at this point. But we also had plans to go to the zoo. I was on eye therapy that morning, so this was a very busy day already. Then we had plans to go to the zoo because we got tickets for like extended hours, so it wouldn't be as bright outside. So we're like, let's go to the zoo and walk around to see what happens. And I had this gut feeling that I'm gonna see someone there that I didn't want to see, or that I wasn't ready to see. And so I was already like a little anxious and whatever. We go and we look at the zoo, and there's no fucking animals out. The only animal we saw was a duck. Like, there were no animals. There was one, like, gibbon. But other than that, there were no animals. And we walked around this entire zoo. There were no fucking animals. So we're just there getting, like, a nice walk in, just smelling animal shit as we walk around. And then I did see someone I know. I saw Mackenzie there. She was there with her son. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I had a gut feeling I'd see someone. It was just her. I was fine with that. So it was cool seeing her. But that was great, because we're like at the zoo ready to look at some animals, just kind of have a new enrichment activity for me, and there's no fucking animals at the zoo. So that day in itself was just a day, if you can't. And then on the way back from the zoo, we needed to get gas. So we stopped at the gas station, and the windows are down, and I'm just sitting there kind of hanging out. I'm on my phone. I'm texting like Bonnie and Kindle updates on the sunglasses because I was talking to them about it. And then there's this person that comes through my window and says, give me all your fucking money. And I shit myself. And I turned, look, it was Kindle. It was Kindle, and I was so scared. And I didn't know who the fuck she was on this side of town. And I kept calling her a whore, because that's such a whore behavior to do that to someone. So that was very funny. So Thursday was a very eventful day. Lots of things happened. Cool. And I was talking to my physical therapist about it the next day on Friday, and she was like, well, that sounds like a really bad day. Like, you handled it really well. And I'm like, you want to talk about bad days? Do you want to talk about bad days? I have had plenty of bad days. And I have lived many a bad days. And, you know, all of these inconveniences, like the sunglasses and the zoo and the whatever, I would take those over not having my fucking brain work any day. You know, I said when I had the thank you hands moment, I was like, I'm not going to complain about red lights. I'm not going to complain about anything anymore. My dad was like, okay, yeah, we'll see if that's true. No, it's true. Because those things happened. I was like, work, cool. So yeah. And then on Saturday, well, I messed up my neck on Friday, I think. And then on Saturday, my dad and I, there's this park that we walk at, that I like to go to, and you can go around the playground, or we saw that there was like another place that you could walk around. So we're like, oh, let's try that. Mind you, my dad wanted me to try it by myself. And I was like, I don't really feel comfortable. It's a new place. Let's see, you know, let's go together. So we go. And we're going to go walk around this greenway area. And it's like kind of what we realize is around a pond. And as we get to like one side of, it's not big. As we get to one side, we notice that like it's not visible. Like the other side is not visible from the main road or from the parking lot, because there's bushes from the parking lot and then there's a bunch of trees. So like you are completely hidden on that side of onto that side of the track. And you know, this is a Saturday afternoon. It's also like during the football game, so there's no one there. It's just us. And so we start to walk, and we're talking about how this would be a really good place to get murdered because no one would see you. So we're talking about that. And then as we're walking, we look on the ground and there's chalk, like kind of fresh chalk written. And so we read them out loud as we walk along. And this one says camp. It has an arrow pointed to the right. So we turn and look at the right, and there's just like some shit bags. It was just like normal park trash. There wasn't anything crazy. So we're like, okay, that's weird, whatever. We go to the next one and it says homeless are disgusting. And we're like, that's kind of mean. Well, my dad didn't say that, but I was like, that's kind of mean. Why would someone write this on the chalk? You know, whatever. And we're saying these out loud, and we were talking about these things on the chalk out loud. And then we get to the next the next thing that was written in chalk, and it says the homeless are watching you. And I was like, okay, this is some teenager, like, or someone just trying to be spooky, you know, do whatever, you know, no big deal. And then as soon as I said that, I turn around behind me, and there is a woman 5 paces behind me and my dad who was not there before, who was not there when we started walking. She was not there, and she's like right behind us. As soon as I said they are watching, there was someone fucking behind us watching. And I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, I felt my stomach drop into my asshole. And at this moment, my dad decides to start talking about how the homeless people downtown, it bothers him. And I'm like, will you shut the, because this woman was clearly houseless. And I was trying to get my dad to shut the fuck up because she was right there. And this thing just said they're watching, and then she's right there. And so I start something like, oh, I want to see that Harry Styles movie. Whatever. I don't, but, or I kind of do, but whatever. And my dad keeps trying to talk about, I'm like, no, let's talk about the fucking movie. And so then we walk along a little bit, and then I see her out of the corner of my eye dart into the woods. And then my dad goes very loudly, hey, wasn't there someone behind us at some point? Where'd she go? Please stop. Please. I was like, shut up. I was like, please shut up. And so and then we walk very quickly back to the car, we get in the car and we leave. And what I learned from that experience is if my dad was in a horror movie, or if my dad was in a life or death situation, we're all gonna die. Like, if we're with him, we're gonna die, because he doesn't know when to fucking shut up. He doesn't know how to do any of that. He is not very aware. And he was like, oh, well, they're just like homeless people. They don't scare me, whatever. I'm like, we literally just talked about how this is an easy place to get murdered or mugged or something. We read the thing on the ground that says they're watching you, and we turn around and someone popped out of fucking nowhere. That's creepy. That's horror movie shit. We came to the conclusion that there is a homeless camp kind of in the trees, but it's very, very well hidden because of the way that the landscape is. And so I will not be walking that part. I'll still walk the playground because there's never been any problems, but I will not walk that ever again because that was terrifying. And also, I don't trust my dad to be in those situations with me. I'm very glad that he was with me, that I didn't go by myself like the original plan that he wanted, because... And so my dad thinks that she was gonna go get like some of the other people that were at the camp and try to, like, you know, panhandle and try to get some money and whatever. I didn't think she was like gonna kill us or rob us or anything, but it was just very creepy to read they are watching and then turn around and there's someone watching. Straight out of a horror movie. And then, it was on Saturday. On Sunday, we were supposed to see Murder on the Orient Express at the Clarence Brown Theater, but it got canceled. And so Bonnie called me, she's like, I have this very fun idea. I said, what? She's like, let's read it. Tom found the script. Let's get some people together and let's just read the script. And I was like, that's fun. So that day, a few people came over and we read the script, and I was Poirot because I love that man very, very much. And it was very fun. There's a lot of bad accents and giggling, and, you know, it was really, really cool. But then I'm reading Poirot, and as there's a moment of like, I know who Zakella is, there's this giant lightning crack that just was like the perfect moment. So that was a very, very fun time. I had a lot of fun doing that. I was probably honestly more fun than actually watching the play. And then yesterday, I told you this has been a crazy week. This has been a fucking insane week. Yesterday, I'm waiting on some packages, and I get a package in the mail, and it's from Johnson City, and I was like, the only people I know from Johnson City would not be sending me mail. And so I open it. Doesn't have a name. It says it's my address, but it doesn't have a name. I'm like, okay, so I open it, and there's like this like it's like plastic folder thing that has one Bic pen, a old University of Tennessee like receipt book, a business card for someone that works in the accounting at UT and a little pouch with $315 in it. No note, no name, no nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And so me and my dad are like looking through it, and we have no clue. I'm like, should I call this person on the card and say, hey, this showed up, I don't know what it is or whatever? And then Dad was looking through the receipt book thing and saw that it said Public Health Student Association or something like that. And I was like, oh, Bonnie's been waiting on a package, and it came. And so I told her, and she was like, that package was supposed to be sent in July. I thought it, you know. So, we got that mystery solved. For about 10 minutes, me and my dad were full-blown detectives trying to figure out what this package meant. Because again, there was no note, nothing. It was just a pen, a receipt book, $315, and a business card. That's it. And again, I don't know, the people that I know from Johnson City, they would not be sending me mail. And so it was a very odd situation. And my dad said this creeped me out more than the incident at the park. And I was like, that's delusional, but okay. And now we're here today. Now we're here today, because this was just yesterday. Yesterday I did finish Succession, and I need more, and I did, you know, walk and stuff like that, but, that's been my life the past week, and it's been fucking insane. And I was talking to, I don't remember who I was talking to about it, but it's kind of like, nature is healing in a way. Like, my life is getting somewhat back to normal in terms of like recovery and my concussion and stuff like that, because all these other life things are happening instead of, you know, head things. And like, that's fine. I didn't have any anxiety, I didn't have any problems, I wasn't like angry, I was just like, okay, this is just what's happening right now in my life. And I was kind of happy to have all these things happen, because again, it means that my head is getting better and that normal life things are just happening. And that's a really good feeling to have. And again, it's like, you know, because I've been through so much, little things like that, they don't, as much as I'd like get so annoyed at a red light or so annoyed that a line was taking too long or whatever, I just don't anymore. Like, I've completely done a 180 as a person since my injury, and like, I don't stress about those things anymore. And so it was fun. It was entertaining. It was definitely a good distraction from the other things that I'm dealing with. But yeah, that was my fucking week. This all happened within from Thursday to Monday. So yeah, that's what it's like. I'm thinking about doing, so I like to listen to music. Who doesn't? But music really helps me like channel my feelings. It helps me get my feelings out. It helps me like feel things that I want to feel or I need to feel or whatever. I'm very influenced by music. And so, obviously I'm going through another very big life change, and I've been listening to music to kind of help me cope or whatever. And I thought it might be a fun idea to do a video where I like talk about my playlist and like the things that I've been listening to and how they're helping me and, you know, whatever. And so if that's something that sounds interesting, I'll do that. And I'll link my like Spotify playlist whenever I do that. But I'm gonna work on that video idea. And yeah, I'm just kind of I have plans this week to do some fun things. Nala goes to the vet this week because she needs shots. It's nothing crazy. She just needs her like yearly like whatever vaccine it is yearly. She just needs that because they won't refill her flu medicine prescription unless we go and get her checked. So we're doing that this week, and we'll just see. I'm about to sneeze. Oh my god. Yeah, we'll just see where life takes us. Again, this is already like a 20-minute long video, so I'm not going to talk about how I've emotionally been this week. It's been all over the place, naturally. But yeah, so I talked a lot. I'm going to stop talking. I will see you next week. And hopefully, well, I was going to say hopefully it's not as chaotic, but I don't know. We'll just see what happens. Okay, bye.